What's up, my boomers? It's me, Melanie Mac, here on my new channel, Melanie Mac Go Boom. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. So, on today's video, I am going to talk about this absolutely stupid and ridiculous viral tweet that went out that just further is dividing people and all that with the woke movement and the generated racism that they create. It's like when they can't find racism, they create it. That we're living in clown world. I don't know what's going on. So, yeah. I couldn't believe it was serious. I thought it was a joke at first, but no, I believe they're serious. So let's go ahead and check that out. So I was scrolling on Twitter and I see this. I don't know who this dude is, but he appears to be white. He says, friendly reminder, if you're white, there's no reason to use a reaction GIF of a black person, aka digital blackface, when there's literally a crap ton of GIFs for everything. And he goes, this blew up. I'm 100% guilty of doing this, and I'm trying to be more intentional about it. I'm also open to other perspectives and encourage the conversation if people don't think it's a big deal. There's so much to unpack here. But first, I just left this reply. I said, if anything, I feel like it's racist to deliberately not use a perfectly good reaction GIF solely based on the skin color of the person in it. Are we living in clown world? We are all human beings regardless of what our skin looks like. Stop trying to divide us. And then Lorena, I love her. And she's black, mind you. She says, is it okay for me to use this GIF? Asking for a friend. For real. So it's like we can only use GIFs of people who are our races. Like, what is even going on? It's like, yeah, black people are no different than anyone else. Stop othering black people. Thank you, I swear. And Stephen Ford here says, yeah, man, totally. Virtue signaling about a non-issue when you've literally done this exact thing 3 days ago. That is definitely some virtue signaling if he did it 3 days ago. It's definitely the thing to focus on. Sharing emotions, cultures, or ideations amongst people. Bringing everyone together is differently the worst. But I do feel like what's been going on with this, with a lot of this stuff, with how woke people will say stuff like this, and it just, I'm getting so sick of the generated racism, because it's like, we should all see each other as human beings. And back in my day, in the 90s, it was like we were told not to see color, basically. It doesn't mean that we didn't acknowledge and that we couldn't tell that somebody had different skin color. But it just meant, hey, we're all human beings. Let's treat each other the same, and skin color shouldn't matter. And we're all, we're all the same, basically. And that's the thing, is regardless of skin color differences, we're all human. And our genetic makeup is so much the same that it's like, why is this even a thing right now? And whenever we make issues out of things like this, then we're treating each other like we're different species or something. And it's just some weird times to where if I say something like, hey, you're no different than me, I get called a racist. But I'm sorry, that's just how I view people. If I see someone with darker skin than me, I don't view them as different than me. Obviously look different, but just like any other person who has my skin tone looks different than me too. So that doesn't even, it's just like, okay, we're the same, but we just have a different aesthetic. That's it. It's just like, I don't know, man. This is where we are in society. And I just feel like we should all be able to look at each other and acknowledge each other as the same. And when it comes to reaction GIFs and stuff like that, dude, so you're going to pass up a totally good GIF that just works for the moment just because, wait a minute, that person doesn't look like me, so I'm not going to use it. I don't know how this got so many likes. I don't get it, but I'm not going to be following along this narrative. That's for sure. I will, if I find a GIF that I like, I will use it regardless of if the person in the GIF looks like me or not. I just don't. People do not have enough to complain about, so they're manufacturing stuff and further dividing us. So I don't know. It is what it is. Let me go ahead and go into some comments from recent videos. Gray Rook says, no human can save another soul. Man, if this is not the most important bit of info you ever hear. And I'm telling you, it's true. And I know, like, in movies and stuff or whatever, and they want to act like, I can't think of something off the top of my head, but it's a whole, wait, sacrifice me. I'll go instead. I'll go to hell instead so this person that I care about won't have to. It's like, it doesn't work like that, though. That's not real life, man. Alexander says, hey, Mel, been a while, but yeah, can confirm this. I got banned for 2 days on Facebook for using the word punch in a sentence. It's the word punch that's censored. It's so stupid. I don't understand why punch is censored. It's not, I don't know. It's weird. What if you say fruit punch? Would that get you censored? Man, I got like a cat hair floating near my eye and I just cannot get it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's funny though. Chris says, this is another example of icing on a half-baked cake. And it's true. Because like, the presentation of this Halo series looks freaking amazing. But unfortunately, I just feel like the meat of it isn't. From what I've seen anyway. We'll see. Zero says, year 2000s. Little to no gamer girls. 2010s. Leave those gamer girls alone. 2020s. Why does the community hate gamer girls? You know what? This is actually pretty accurate. And I will admit, like in the 2010s, I was on that whole leave girl gamers alone thing. Because I felt like there was a lot of gatekeeping going on and a lot of accusing girls of being fake gamers. And I kind of think there was a bit of an overcompensation in that. Because now we're at the point where everybody, where it's like, and I'm not saying this to speak up for all girl gamers, because like I said in that video, most girl gamers are chill and can hang. But now there are like the male feminists who try to speak for girl gamers, as well as, you know, some girl gamers who try to paint this message of victimhood all the time and wanting special treatment. Yeah, it's gotten way out of hand. I think it's time to go back to the 2010s, honestly. Let's see. Alan says, this is disappointing considering I left the Star Wars fan base for Halo. You know, that's such a bummer when it keeps happening. This kind of stuff keeps happening to franchises we like, because I love Tomb Raider so freaking much. And, you know, I've distanced myself a little bit from the series and all that because I don't like where it has turned. I'm a classic Tomb Raider fan. And while I still like some of the newer stuff, for what it is, it's just not Tomb Raider to me. So, yeah, when I see it happen to other franchises I like, it's like, crap, can we not have anything? Not anymore. Okay, Dracungus says that Cortana doesn't just look like a soccer mom. She looks like she was genetically engineered to be the perfect soccer mom. Oh, that was funny. And then Mega Tom Plays says, OMG, I thought you looked familiar. I used to be the assistant manager of a GameStop. Yay! I feel like every time I encounter people who used to work at GameStop or still do, but whenever I was hosting on the TVs and stuff, it feels like running into long lost family I never got to meet. So thank you so much, Mega Tom, for the comment. I hope you're doing well. All right, let's go ahead and go into the verse of the day. I picked Genesis 28:15 for today. It says, "Behold, I am with you, and will keep you wherever you go, and will bring you back to this land. For I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you." And I love reading about like God taking care of his children, because he does, and he does for us too. And in this case, you know, it's a specific context, but this also applies to us as well. God takes care of us as well. And it doesn't mean that we're going to have perfect lives and all that kind of stuff, because, I mean, temptation exists in the world, and we will fall to it, and we'll get ourselves in trouble all the time. Or sometimes bad things will just happen to us that we didn't even do. But it doesn't mean that God isn't protecting us and taking care of us. Because I look back at, in my life, and even during times where I feel like I was going through kind of a rebellious phase and turned my back on my faith a bit, even then God didn't take his hand off me. And there's a lot more. I could go on about this forever, but just to kind of keep it concise, there is more that goes about, more verses that speak about, bad things happening and how we don't understand it sometimes and all that. But I think what we don't realize too is that God's presence exists on earth, for everyone to some capacity. I believe even people who aren't believers still, and I don't know, don't quote me on this because I don't have a verse for it, but I still think there's some degree of God's protection on, now it depends on who and all that kind of stuff, but I do think there is some degree of God's protection on people, even if they're not necessarily believers. It doesn't say I think they're going to heaven, because I think that Jesus is the only way, but I'm just saying, because the Bible even says if a sparrow falls, that God knows about it. And how much more does God care for us if he cares for the sparrows? And for that reason, yeah, I do think that. That's why I think that hell would be such a terrible place, because not only for the suffering and all that going on, but there will be no presence of God whatsoever there. And we don't, I think as humanity in general, we don't know what that feels like at all, even people who aren't believers. So it's just kind of spine chilling to think about. I'd be curious to see what you guys think of the comments, because I know some of this is just, I'm speaking from my own perspective, but yeah. But anyway, there you have it for today's video. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. I will see you all tomorrow. And until then, go boom.